See, setting up. All right, we should be live here on Facebook, live streaming from Zoom. I am Linda Turgison, founder, CEO of LTLTE, Learn to Love to Exercise, a certified nutritionist, online health and life coach, and certified positive psychology coach for women over 50. And I am so happy to be here today with my amazing client, Amy Cheese. Hi, Amy. Thanks for joining.
Hi, you're welcome. Thank
How
you.
are you?
I'm good. I'm very
Awesome.
good.
You're looking great today, and
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you being here. I would love to share some of your story, just have a conversation around what's been changing for you over the last like 5 months since we met as total strangers, right?
Yeah, we were.
Yeah. And then you ended up joining the New Me Academy, working with me. And I would love to hear a little bit about how you were feeling, like maybe say 6 months ago and before that, before we met, basically. If you can tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. Um, 6 months ago, I wasn't moving hardly at all. And I'm a teacher and I would go to work and walk around my classroom, but after I'd come home, I'd be tired and I'd plop down on in my chair and watch TV for the night. So when I would wake up in the morning, I felt like a 90-year-old woman because my back hurt, my legs hurt. I just was so stiff and knew that this is not how I should be feeling, but not really knowing a lot about how to change it.
Okay. And you're obviously not 90 years old.
No, no, I'm 61.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and I watched my dad pass away a year ago,
Mhm.
and I watched him decline the year before that. And I felt like I was living a lot of his life where people would be like, get up, do something. And we'd say that to my dad. You would feel better if you would. Yeah, yeah. And that was sad too. I wasn't feeling very positive about things.
Okay. Understandable, and it's hard to see our parents pass on, and especially if they're suffering and declining, and we do our best to help, but it's like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
And that's what I was feeling like I was doing also with my own
Mm.
life.
Yeah. So we met through your sister, your wonderful sister,
Yes.
Allison, who at the beginning of the year, I had met her online, and she was in one of my free week-long challenges. And then she joined a 4-week program that I had, and you joined as well. Now, what made you want to even join that and to change and to start prioritizing yourself and your health more?
Well, it took a little push from my sister, a little, it's okay. I love Linda. You'll like her. I think this will be good for you. And at first I was like, yeah. And not totally convinced, but the more I thought about getting up and not moving and eating, and I thought it's only a month, I can do anything for a month,
Yes.
then I decided to go ahead and do it. And
Awesome.
it was just from what I had heard about you, it was a great experience. I knew going in it would be good, even if I only felt like I could do it for a month. So
Yeah. Oh, wonderful. I think I lost the last sentence you said there. Sorry.
Oh, I said, even if I felt like I could only do it for a month, I knew that it would be a good experience.
Okay, good, good. So before we started, you had bodily aches and pains, trouble getting out of bed and not feeling a lot of energy. You were a teacher, so kind of getting there to teach, do the classes, and then you'd come home from work and plop down in the chair, watch TV, and that was kind of your routine
Right.
over and
Yes.
over. Um, so then you learned about me through your sister. You decided, okay, let's do the month. Let's see how it goes. And I can do
Yep.
anything for a month. And then afterwards, we talked about my longer term program in the New Me Academy for a
Hmm.
year. What made you decide to go all in for a year together?
Well, my sister reminded me, which I actually told me, I didn't know that I was stubborn, but apparently I am. And my daughter told me the same thing. So since it was in a week's period of time, I thought I better listen. But I I knew after a month how wonderful you are and we built trust, and trust is important when it comes to something so personal, I think. And you individualize things for people, and I felt like, okay, she's not gonna treat me like everybody else. She's gonna meet me where I am. And so I felt safe with you. And I knew that if I signed up, I would have the accountability. And plus, I'd learned a little bit, but there was no way it would have taken me, I could have done it myself through life. I would have been like, oh, yeah, as I'm eating ice bowl of ice cream for dinner. Yeah, Linda wouldn't think this was the best. But another aspect I think that's important is that it wasn't a diet. It's not, I learned about reading labels and learned about myself and how just being negative wasn't helping anybody, especially me. And so I thought, okay, I'm worth it. I'm 61. I have grandkids I want to be alive for. And so I went for it. And because Allison was doing it too, I must admit it made it easier, to
Yeah,
think about it.
right.
But I got a little taste of it. And with anything that's wonderful, you want to have more of it. So that's why I did it.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to have more of it, including ice cream.
That's right. And I can have ice cream too. Yes.
You can. Yes. Yes. It's all about, having a little bit of it, but not too much.
Right.
Um, so I think that's great. And it is true. Of course, the accountability is what all my clients say helps them the most. And having that extra support from your sister, doing it with your sister, I think is so amazing. And I love the close relationship that the two of you have and helping each other and all of that. Um, what would you say was like the biggest, hesitation or even objection to like going all in for a year, other than the stubbornness?
Well, um, just I think believing in myself that I could do it. I had always wanted the quick fix. I wanted a pill that I could take, or I even went in and because I have 100 pounds to lose from the beginning. If we were going to be realistic, for me being all the way down where I should be, and I went for gastric bypass surgery consultation, and just all those things, and nothing. And I decided against it, but nothing worked. It was all just kind of like a band-aid for the problem.
Yeah.
So doing it and knowing that I was going to learn things, just how to live my life healthier.
Yes.
made a big difference.
I love that, Amy. Thank you so much for sharing. And I know women who have had that surgery, and it is also, like you say, a band-aid because it doesn't fix the problem from the inside out on how
Right.
you're thinking about the foods, how you're believing in yourself, how you're deciding to prioritize you. Do you feel like all of this work is really time consuming?
I think once you understand what you're doing and the why you're doing it too, it's not time consuming at all because it's getting up and going for a walk instead of watching a TV show that I could watch at another time or not watch at all. You
Yeah.
know, it's not really taking time away from anything that's important. I can get down on the ground now and play with my 8 year or 9 month old granddaughter, and those times you can't get back. So where before, if I got down, I needed help getting up, but now I'm down there and I'm not in pain while I'm down there. So it all of those little things are worth it.
Yeah, yeah. And that's so amazing that before you had to have help to get up just 5, 6 months ago, and
Yeah,
now,
oh yeah, it is amazing.
yeah. And you've done super well. I mean, you're down over 30 pounds and 16 inches, and just the way you're feeling, all the stuff that you can do now versus 5, 6 months ago.
Right. It's the really the pounds gone are a huge plus, but how I feel
Yes.
is the most positive, in my opinion.
Yes, I completely agree. How you feel is the most important. The pounds are just a bonus,
Right.
but you want to feel great.
Definitely. And you want to be able to live life. And I wasn't doing that. And I wasn't enjoying being in my body.
Yeah.
It was depressing.
Mhm.
And it was, you know, I was ashamed some of the time because you'd have to think about, wow, can I do that event? Are we going to have to go upstairs? Are we going to have to sit in chairs that are this big and my rear end won't fit in there? All of those things that I had to think about before, I
Yeah.
don't have to think about now. So that's a good thing also.
That's a wonderful thing. It makes me so happy. And I mean, looking at your pictures that I shared the other day, and your sister was so funny. She said she was checking you out from behind, and I'm like, no wonder why. I mean, your transformation just with 30 pounds, I mean, you look amazing.
Well,
Such an
thanks.
amazing change.
It's the workouts too,
Yeah.
walking and going to the gym and it
Yes.
you are learned to love to live, and I can be honest and say, or to learn to exercise, love it. And I can't say I love it right now, but I like it a lot more than I did before.
Yeah.
The benefits, that's
Right.
why you love it, is because of the benefits, and I can certainly see those.
Exactly. That's why I always, think about how you feel after the exercise, because we
Yeah,
don't always want to go exercise in the moment, but afterwards we feel so much better. So that's important to think about.
it
Um,
is.
so the bodily aches and pains, and then you're in the gym. Were you in the gym at all before?
Definitely not consistently. And it would be my sister saying, "Oh, do you want to come work out with us?" And I would go, a couple times, but then I was paying a membership for nothing.
Yeah.
I had some time that I worked with a trainer just exercise wise, and I felt so good at the gym. And as soon as summer was over and I went back to work, I went back to all the bad habits. I wasn't working, I thought, oh, I'll feel better. She'll fix me,
Mm.
no. And, nothing changed once I went back to work and got back to regular life.
Yeah. So the changes you've made, I mean, you've made a lot of changes, right? Go into the gym. Now you're in there, what, 3 times a week
Yep.
consistently?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Doing your warm up and other exercises at home. You're walking, right, with your daughter?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yep. 2 mile walk we go on.
that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously the nutrition has changed quite a bit.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
And the mindset, the way you're thinking, the negative thoughts have also gone down.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I realize what an impact it had on my life. And I wasn't as happy before.
Yeah.
And now I'm much happier. So that helps too.
That helps a lot. Yes, I love
Yes.
it. What would you say is the biggest transformation that you've experienced so far over the last 5 months?
Mm, Probably just what I can do physically
Mm.
and not hurting whenever I'm moving. So learning that movement is a good thing and it doesn't have to be negative, like, oh, which it always was because getting started is hard with anything.
Yes.
And I just have learned that it can be a positive and it can be enjoyable.
Yes.
So I just think how my body feels is the biggest change.
Yes. For sure. That's so great. What would you say to like other women that are, around your age or in their, 50s and beyond who are wanting to make a change, but they're holding back, they're hesitating?
If I can do it, you can do it, and that you are worth it. It's not too late. It's never too late. And think of something or a reason why you would want to make progress
Mhm.
and, write it down, put it up, and use that as motivation and find what you need to do to get to that place. It's never too late and you can do it.
Yeah. Totally correct. It's never too late. You're never too old.
No,
It's
and
just about getting started, which is the hardest part. But once you get going and you focus, like you said, on how great you feel, then it makes it easier to continue.
you want to get better. You want to be able to walk further and lift more weights
Yes.
and we have a great community
Yes.
with you and the other people that are working with you.
Yes.
And we lift each other up all the time because we
Right.
know what hard work is. And that
Yes,
makes a difference as well. It's
it
fun
does.
to have the other women, and none of us are the same. We're all different, but we're all working on ourselves, and that's important. And we're all in the same age range.
Right.
So that's important too.
Yeah. I totally agree. It's the same gender, same age range, and you're all like-minded where you're working on yourself and your health and wanting to improve and do things differently.
Yes.
Yes, wonderful. Um, Anything else that you would like to share about, your journey or any stories about how you're feeling differently or anything at all that you think could help other women who are listening?
I don't know. I mean, I can tell stories, but it's the little victories
Yeah.
make it worthwhile.
Yes.
It's anything from we go on a field trip at the end of every year, and it's a walking field trip. And with my school in third grade, I'm a third grade teacher, which I think I mentioned, but it's for the last 5 years, I've had to drive to where we were going. we were going through looking at statues, and then we'd have lunch at the park, but it was like a mile to the park and a mile home, and that it was too much for me, and I couldn't do it, and that was embarrassing. And and this year I didn't even have to think about it. I went and I did great, and I got to participate fully, and I wasn't embarrassed. And, I just want people to know that little things like that can happen, and they make a huge difference in your life.
Yes, yes. And I'm sure others are noticing how much more energy you have and all the changes that you've been making, even the
Yes.
students, right? I'm sure they notice that the new Amy.
They do. When I go back in the fall, they'll really notice,
Yeah.
after you don't see people for a while. But yeah,
Yes,
I
yes.
couldn't do it without you, Linda. I wouldn't have been
Oh,
able to get started or have the knowledge or anything if I hadn't found you. So I appreciate you a great deal.
I am so grateful for you, Amy. It's such a pleasure to work with you, work with your sister. You're both wonderful women. And I'm so proud of you and all the progress you've made, and from where you were the beginning of the year to now. It's truly amazing, and it gives me so much joy to see this, and it just reminds me of this is why I have this work, and I just love seeing progress like this, and learning, from you how much better you feel, and all the stuff you're able to do now that you weren't able to do before, and how much easier it is.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Wonderful. Well, I really appreciate you, Amy. I appreciate you coming on here and sharing your story, because I know it will inspire a lot of women out there. And it's so important to put ourselves first, prioritize ourselves, and everyone is worthy, because you're the most important person there is.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to learn that.
Yes, true. And the happier you are, the happier you're also for everyone else around you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Linda.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Amy. I will go ahead and end the live here, and then we'll be on with our day. But again, I really, really appreciate it so much. Thank you. And for those of you listening, feel free to comment with any questions you have, and please give a thumbs up and a heart to Amy, so that more women can see this video and learn from Amy. So thank you again. I really appreciate it, Amy.
Thank you, Linda.
All right. Take care.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.